All right, we've officially launched the Flow Editor 2.0 into beta. It's just private beta right now, but we're doing something quite meta, or I would like to go through something quite meta with you, which is to actually explain how to use Flow, using Flow in AR mode, or sorry, in XR mode, where I'll actually go on into headset, so you'll know I'm not cheating and this is all real. And so to do that, we just have screenshots of what it looks like on the computer. And so here what we're looking at is when you create a flow, you first start by creating a swarm. And we need to link some data to that swarm. So we can do that by selecting from our library and pull in some information, or you can upload your own CSV file. When you do that, you'll see a collection of dots here. And these are all in a random chart type. And so each dot is representative of a thing. It is a row of the data set. We can change the height of that data. We can change the width of it. It's all in meters here that you'll see on the right. We can also add a color scheme in based on a categorical variable or scaling variables. We can actually change the size of the dots based on something like here, the population. And then we can start to order this. So we'll look at this as a scatter plot just with one dimension looking at the continent. And we can see not much, right? We just see the names. So we can see Asia, Europe, Oceania. But if we add this cluster in, then we can start to see how many dots are part of each of these. So let's actually add a vertical axis here where we'll add another axis to look at life expectancy. And we can see some level of distribution amongst the different years. But let's actually just look at the average. So there's another category here that's just for average. And if we look at that now over time, I think we start to see sort of this beautiful story. And let me actually add some connections in. And we can see that we see this huge increase in life expectancy really over the last 100 years, which is pretty amazing. But we can also see down here a pretty sharp decline in one of the years. And so if we adjust here so that we can actually click on the dots to pull up some additional information, I'm not going to do that because there's a small little bug it looks like, but that's 1918. So that's the Spanish flu. And we can see that huge decline pretty much everywhere. And so if we zoom more into that, just looking at that decline in 1918, we can look across all of the different continents and we see that decline everywhere, right? It's kind of shocking, pretty much everywhere. Let's expand this out and we can see that this trend, all sort of like the details of how life expectancy has changed over the years. And I think what's most interesting is that you can see both, this amazing overall success, but that within here you also see these huge sharp declines, some of which we can actually drill into. And let me start to order this, in a different manner here. So we're putting order now on this depth axis as opposed to just looking at the category of country. And from here, let's go ahead and actually add some filters. So we're going to filter and just look at the very last year and then add a label so we can see what we're looking at. And we'll rotate this whole graph around and look at what is the overall life expectancy for these countries just in 2018. And from there, we can actually take these and throw them onto a map to start to understand it a little better. And here you're seeing how we created a map and then plot these onto the map and then change the label so we can see the total life expectancy. And then let's, on this last step, add a little more fun and interaction to this. And we'll add an action so this rotates. And it looks like perhaps that isn't working right now, so sorry about that, but that's the beauty of a beta release, that there's going to be some issues along the way, but hopefully this meta tutorial of how to create them is helpful and inspiring for seeing how you can take data from one perspective to the next and help tell that story and make it cognitively relevant, where you see how the data is changing from position to position, but you're not going from slide to slide and losing that context. It's all building on one another to help your overall understanding. So that is Flow Editor 2.0. Thank you guys so much, and looking forward to showing you guys more.